you very much. Y'all, it's a great honor to be with you here today. I'm State Rep Stewart Jones for House District 14, serving Lawrence and Greenwood counties. And it's one of the greatest honors of my life to represent the people of South Carolina. I have a deep history and ancestry in South Carolina. You know, from the very beginning of this situation, though, of this pandemic, one of the Bible verses that I've often thought about is in 2 Corinthians, saying that where there is the Spirit of the Lord, there is liberty.
Woo!
And why that's important is because that liberty, that's the liberty we're fighting for. That's the liberty that no school board member, no state rep, state senator, no Congress member, no president, nobody should be able to infringe on your God-given rights. Throughout this whole situation, though, we have been fighting. Someone once said that war is 90% information. It's 90% information. And we are fighting a war for the truth. We're fighting a war of words. We're fighting a war where they are redefining. Think about this for a second. The CDC has redefined what a vaccine is. Going against all that science, you know, and all that information that came before. The World Health Organization, they've changed the definition of herd immunity. What is going on? And why are people just going with the flow? Well, I can see by all of you guys out here today, we're not going with the flow. And we're to the point, you know, I've got to say this too. 15 days into this situation, when Dr. Fauci said, let's slow the spread, 15 days to slow the spread, that was too much then. It should have stopped then.
18 months ago.
You know, the founders told us, they said to never trade our liberty for security. Never trade it. Because we would end up with neither. We would lose both of them. And that's exactly what's going on and what has happened. Let me tell you, on my way here today, the amount of calls, the amount of emails, texts I am getting from patients, from doctors, from healthcare professionals in this state who are under attack. Joe Biden, you have no place. Joe Biden has no place in South Carolina. You know, we've got the proof right here. We fought them before. And they took the cane off of George Washington here. We'll fight them again. We've got to stop this. This has to end now. And so I am for using every mechanism in our Constitution. Every mechanism we have. It is an infringement on our Bill of Rights for them to try to force your child to wear a mask or get a vaccine. And let me tell you this, I'm not saying, we're not telling anybody they can't wear a mask or can't get a vaccine. We're saying return the favor to us. Now, the General Assembly here in South Carolina, you guys, we have called, and I want to thank Speaker Lucas. Speaker Jay Lucas has called an emergency meeting for next week, a caucus meeting. And what we've got to figure out in that meeting is how we're going to stop Joe Biden. How we're going to stop. We've got to stop the federal government. We are a state of liberty, of states' rights. That is our history. And I think we're going to get it right this time. I really do. So some of the things I'm looking at right now, and just to put this out, you know, the Supreme Court over here, we had a good ruling on the City of Columbia situation. But what these school boards are doing, let me tell you, what some of these school districts are doing, folks, they are saying they don't care what the law is. They don't care what the Constitution says. They're going to go ahead and they're going to dictate these things, it's local tyranny at that point. We've got to, and this is exactly, we cannot comply. We cannot comply. Take your children back from the state. I'm going to tell you my situation here real quick, and this just blew my mind. We were on virtual learning last year. I want to say it was in April of last year, and my wife and I overheard one of the conversations going on in a Zoom meeting, in a virtual learning Zoom meeting, where the teacher was telling these kids about what a strike is, why the teachers went on strike. We started realizing they're using this time, they're teaching our children about collective bargaining, about socialism. It has no place in South Carolina. Take your kids back. We've got to cut off the funds. We are going to cut off the funds. Listen to this. These schools, these colleges that ignore our Constitution, we had to put laws in place to say teach the Constitution.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so bad.
Think about that for a minute. In the United States of America, the greatest experiment of human freedom, of liberty in the history of the world. And these people are pushing socialism. They're pushing communism. They're pushing critical race theory.
No.
We put a proviso stopping critical race theory in the budget.
Woo!
There are school districts, though, that are ignoring that. Parents have to get involved. We've got to take, and a lot of times, everybody, I think we've looked at this situation incorrectly. We've looked at America and we've said we need a top-down fix. We don't need a top-down fix.
That's right.
The founders believed in this system of federalism, in individual liberty.
Amen.
We need a ground-up approach to take back America. And we're going to do it. We're going to do it. Here's what I need you to do. We have some strong, and I can tell you from working with them, we have some very, very strong State House representatives. And let me tell you, we passed constitutional carry, one of the strongest constitutional carry bills in the country. We said in that bill that the federal government can't come into the state and take your firearms.
Amen.
That's right. Nullification, interposition, anti-commandeering. We did this in the open carry bill too, as well. We eliminated the fee for your concealed weapon permit. And while that is a step in the right direction, we need to push. The constitutional carry bill that we passed in the House is sitting in the Senate. It's alive. It will be alive in January when we go back into session in January. Right now, we are out of session, of course. I'm trying to get us into an emergency session to stop all this COVID tyranny.
Come on.
But when we go back into session, we need to put the pressure on the South Carolina Senate. You need to call your senators and tell them, pass constitutional carry, or we are going to get you out of office. This past year, we passed the heartbeat bill in South Carolina. We said that South Carolina is going to protect the voiceless. We're going to protect these children who don't have a choice. I can't tell you, and I know y'all have gotten this too, but so many people have come up and said, and these liberals have come up and said, what about my body, my choice? They've said, you didn't, what about with the heartbeat bill, and they all fought us on the heartbeat bill the whole way. The thing is that's not their body.
Right.
That's a different person. We've got a strong legislature, we just got to get, I'll be honest with you, we got to get the Senate to stand up. The House is going into this emergency session. We're looking at every possible way. Let me tell you, if Biden is able to go through with this through OSHA, this attack on your ability to feed your family, and they've done it this whole time from the very beginning. If they go through with this and we do not stand up, vote every one of us out of office.
Amen.
I'm not going to sit down. I'm not going to stop fighting. But we've got to you've got to call your reps, call your senators, tell them this is the line in the sand. There's nowhere else to go from here. I feel like this is the Alamo in many ways.
We just won't lose this time.
We've got to win this time. That's right. That's right. We've got bills that, and let me say this real quick. So the situation, I know some of the school districts, of course, are going ahead with the mask mandates in their schools, okay? You need to get to those school board members and tell them that the Supreme Court already ruled on that. They can't preempt state law, okay? And all the state law did was say that the rights are with parents. That parents have parental choice in deciding these things. Not the government, not the school board, not any bureaucrat, definitely not Joe Biden. Same with vaccines, folks. Same with vaccines. When we go into this meeting next week, it is imperative that we do everything we can, we use every mechanism we can to stop all this. We've got to stop it now, okay? And it's difficult, I got to tell you, because we are out of session, but this is an emergency matter, you know? This is a COVID-19 related issue, so it applies to our continuing resolution, our sine die. So I want to thank you all so much, though, for everything you are doing at the local level. And every time that we've been fighting these issues, I can tell you, when you go to those school board meetings, when you go to your city council meeting, your county council meeting, that is where the rubber meets the road. Hold them accountable. Hold them accountable. One of my favorite stories here in South Carolina goes back to Fort Moultrie, Fort Sullivan, South Carolina. And this was when the British tried to come into our state in 1776.
Woo.
Under the command of William Moultrie, there was a soldier by the name of Sergeant McDaniel. And Sergeant McDaniel was hit by a British cannonball where they were trying to come in. And his last dying words, he said, "Do not let liberty expire with me." Fight on, boys. Fight on. That's what South Carolina is, y'all. That's what we're all about. We're not going to bow down to this. We're not going to. This is ridiculous, and it's going to end. And let me tell you something else. We need election integrity. I could go through and tell you, in this very building right here, the conversations we were having in there about drop boxes and mobile voting and mail-in ballots. It's garbage. It is garbage. They took advantage of it. They stole the election. I completely believe that. And here's the thing. Let me tell you this. Let me say this. I think South Carolina did a great job. We stood up and fought it to the Supreme Court, and we appealed. We were overturned initially by a Obama-appointed judge, federal judge. We fought them and we beat them. South Carolina's laws were upheld in our election. That's not to say that there was not fraud that went on, though.
Right.
Okay? That's right. We need forensic audits. We have bills. This is something else we need sooner than later. Yes, I'm following Arizona as well. We need forensic audits in South Carolina. I have a funding mechanism that would allow 3 counties in South Carolina. It would call on 3 counties to conduct forensic audits on their machines, on their voting machines, on the mail-in ballots, on the witness signatures. I want us to prove the witness signatures.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
So we've got to have that. We cannot move on until that happens. People have lost faith. They've lost trust in our system of government. And rightfully so. The only way we're going to restore that is if we have transparency and we allow people to verify their votes. I have a bill that would also allow voter verification. It would allow you as a voter to go home and to verify where you voted, how you voted, the time you voted, who you voted for. These things have got to happen. I thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here today, everybody. Please, I know the network we have here is growing across this state. I am inspired by you. It's how I stay in this, because I know the people out here are on my side. So God bless you, everything. God bless the state of South Carolina. God bless the United States of America. And thank you very much.